What's up, you beautiful people? Name's Evan. I think my friend Ryan might be killing someone tonight. I have a story that I think you guys are going to appreciate, and it all revolves around my buddy Ryan, which you guys have seen before. He's been in a few of my videos, and he had a situation on the fateful night of August 9th, 2025, in which aura was completely destroyed, social standing was lost, and a night of sleep was likely ruined. And I thought I would forward this story to you guys. I'd have him do it himself, but I'm pretty sure if I had him try, he would shrivel up like that one lady who was around when chocolate was invented. But he was going out for my buddy Mikey's birthday. They were in the capital of our country, Washington, D.C. So the characters at the beginning of this story are Mikey's girlfriend, Zion's girlfriend, Ryan, and a sixth, more devious friend who will be going by the pseudonym Einstein, because he's a fucking genius. And so they're all out enjoying their day. They have a nice time, go-karting. They're doing all their things. And at the very end, a little drowsy. They're tired. So Mikey girlfriend, Zion girlfriend, they go home, leaving us with Ryan and Einstein. And so, of course, Ryan and Einstein are now invited out to the bars with Aditya and Connor. A lot of names, but really the names aren't that important. It's the content of this story that's important. But Aditya, Connor, and Connor's sister. And these two are bandmates with Ryan. Connor's sister is his sister. I don't know if that was a difficult connection to make. But all these people, as well as his sister's friends, whom Ryan and Einstein have never met before. And as you all know, first impressions are very important. So anyways, they are pre-gaming at these girls' new house. They just moved into DC. They're unfamiliar with the neighborhood, and of course, anything could happen at any time. And so they are done pre-gaming. They go to the bar. They're having a nice time. Sort of. Einstein's being weirdly touchy and belligerently drunk because he's a belligerent drunk fool on Ryan, and Ryan doesn't like that. But at one point, I'm not sure how this happened, Einstein found himself outside of the bar that they're in. A bar that, mind you, took 30 minutes of waiting to get into, which means it would take 30 minutes more of waiting to get back into. And an added detail to that is that he did not have his wallet. So he didn't have his ID, so he couldn't prove that he was old enough to get into the bar again. So that was a stupid situation. But it was midnight, to be fair. So Ryan told the guy, take an Uber home. He's like, I'll even cover your Uber. Just go home, please. And Einstein's like, all right, fine, I'll cover my own Uber. Guy, like a belligerent drunk idiot. And so, by the way, I want to say, Einstein, like, you're my friend. I'm not getting, like, if you're watching this, you are my buddy. I'm just being silly to be silly. Don't take this personally. You're still my pal. I just like calling people idiots. Don't take it lightly. But anyways, he's still an idiot for this decision. Like, let's be fair. He does take an Uber back home for now. And so he's out of the story for the time being, leaving Ryan, Connor, Aditya, Connor's sister, and this group of girls, one of which Ryan is getting quite close to. He's managed to, it's nice. You're out at the bars, sipping a little drinks, getting a little tipsy, talking with women. It's nice, having a good time. And he's trying to recuperate from that unfortunate event with Einstein. And it's going quite well for the time being until he gets a call from Einstein asking him, hey, Ryan, can you tell your friends to let me inside? Now, I didn't know that Einstein lived with Ryan's friends, mostly because he doesn't. And then at the same time, these girls, in which Ryan and Einstein have never met before, mind you, are getting a call from their friend who's still at the house that there is a, how do they word it? A belligerent, drunk, homeless man on their porch. Now at this moment, Ryan decided to do some simple math and realized the fact that, oh no, Einstein is an idiot. He went back to the house of these women he's never met before to try and hang there, I guess, for reasons unknown. Now, I have the Ring doorbell footage of this night. However, I'm not going to be showing it because it has Einstein's face, and I'd like for him to still be able to get a job in the future, because that's just considerate. And so, what happens, though, I can give you a rough transcript, is you hear the girls talking to him through the Ring doorbell, like, hey, you need to leave. You need to leave. You want to know why? We called the police on you. So now, this belligerent drunk fool has the police called on him. And so, I see in the Ring doorbell footage, let me try and reenact it really quickly. He's like far off in the distance. He stumbles up and goes like this and goes, let me in. Now, bear with me for a second. You could have said anything else and it would have sounded better. What do you mean, let me in? What are you, the big bad fucking wolf? So anyway, hey, focus. He's asked to come in, and the girl's like, no, you need to leave. We're calling the police. They're on the way. Because of course, they just moved into this neighborhood. There's a big dude on their porch. And so He then says, "I'm here with Ryan." So yeah, no, while he's being hit by a bus, might as well pull Ryan in front of it too. That's a good call. So Ryan at this moment not only covers his face, falls to his knees, but likely started crying just a little bit. He said his face turned completely white, which I think is hilarious because he's not white. He's like dark Trinidadian. He's a Trinidadian, all right. Anyway, getting off topic. So that whole thing went down. And so Ryan saying over the thing, and by the way, not only Ryan, but my buddy Aditya, one of my favorite parts of this whole clip, screams at the top of his lungs, "Are you kidding me?" Which is so funny to me because I've never heard this guy's voice go above 30 decibels in my life. So hearing him scream actually was off, but like you could tell this was a state of distress for these gentlemen. So Ryan doesn't say anything actually. I'm decently sure he probably, like, all the air in his lungs left, so he couldn't say anything. But Connor comes forward and says, "Hey buddy, you gotta leave. I'll pay for your Uber. Just get out." And of course, Einstein, being the genius he is, was like, "No, I'll pay for my Uber. I'll go home." Now, to finish this story off, I want you to look at this. This is the route that the Uber took the first time that he left the bar. Now, you might notice that's a complete fucking circle. He went all the way back home and then circled back. For why? He likely spent like $130 on this Uber just to be a belligerent drunk homeless man on someone's porch for a night. It's one of the funniest goddamn stories I've ever heard in my life. It might not be as funny for you guys, but it was hilarious for me. Likely, I wish I was there. I was too busy at the state fair. I was getting some funnel cake and petting some goats. They're going, man, it was awesome. But anyway, goddamn, dude. The thing is, Ryan calls me about this, and he's like on the brink of tears telling me this story over FaceTime because he's leaving. Like, he's going home. He probably didn't want to show his face there ever again. He probably can't even go to the city of DC again. And at the same time, our buddy Einstein says into our friend group chat, "I'm quitting alcohol." Thank goodness. Like, to add, you know what? I'm not going to tell more stories about this belligerent drunk fool because I don't want to incriminate this guy further. I just thought this was so funny and wanted to share with you guys. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here for now. I also put a very topical video in the back because this is essentially a good reincarnation of what he was doing, except he didn't run because he probably would have tripped and fallen, like broken something. Anyway, thank you. And as always, my name's Evan, and drink responsibly.